IRP5 certificates for taxpayers who receive a code 3701 or 3702 taxable travel allowance must also show a code 4582 amount on the IRP5. Remember that the code 3701 or 3702 amount on the IRP5 will be the full 100% of the travel allowance paid to the taxpayer by the employer, and this full 100% income amount will be added to income on the final assessment. The same thing applies to code 3802 or 3816 fringe benefit amount levied for having the full use of a company car. We know that the employer may add 80% or 20% of this allowance or company car fringe benefit amount to remuneration at salary source to determine remuneration for pay as you earn. Now this is important. Although 100% of this amount is added to income on the final assessment, only the 80% or 20% taxable amount of the full travel allowance actually received will be included in with the amount used for remuneration in the 27.5% of remuneration rule for determining the maximum retirement fund deduction claim. Looking at the example in the IRP5 window in Wintex, we can see 300,000 Rand code 3601 salary and 100,000 Rand code 3701 actual travel allowance paid to make up the total income of 400,000 Rand. By the way, I've also entered deductions of 150,000 Rand so as to reduce the taxable income to 250,000 Rand. This is to ensure that in our example, the remuneration amount is greater than the taxable income amount. Having a look at the report for unutilized deductions, Wintex will show us that the maximum allowable retirement fund deduction claim is 82,500 Rand, which is 27.5% of 300,000 Rand. Wintex and SARS will ignore the code 3701 travel allowance in the 27.5% of remuneration calculation, and the reason for this is that we have no idea how much of the 100,000 Rand total travel allowance paid was actually added to remuneration by the employer to determine tax at salary source. The Act says that remuneration is the taxable portion of any amount or fringe benefit paid by an employer to an employee. Code 4582 on the IRP5 will tell us what portion of the travel allowance was taxed at salary source and will be included in the remuneration for the 27.5% of remuneration formula. In this example, code 4582 shows that 80,000 Rand or 80% of the 100,000 Rand travel allowance actually received was added to remuneration by the employer to determine pay as you earn at salary source. Opening the report for unutilized deductions, we can now see that the maximum retirement fund deduction allowed will be 27.5% of the remuneration amount of 300,000 Rand salary plus 80,000 Rand travel allowance taxable at salary source, which is 27.5% of 380,000 Rand or 104,500 Rand. If only 20% of the 100,000 Rand travel allowance was added to remuneration at salary source, then the code 4582 amount would have been 20,000 Rand. The remuneration amount would now be the 300,000 Rand salary plus the 20,000 Rand portion of the travel allowance taxed by the employer at salary source. Our maximum allowable retirement fund deduction would thus be 27.5% of 320,000 Rand, which is 88,000 Rand. If you're using the screen in WinTax as a tool just to see how much a taxpayer can contribute to a retirement fund by simply entering remuneration, then don't forget to enter any code 4582 amount if there is a travel allowance or a company car fringe benefit amount. We have seen how SARS and WinTax will ignore any travel allowance received and ignore any company car fringe benefit amount and instead include the code 4582 amount in remuneration for the 27.5% of remuneration calculation.